properties help you determine which is baking powder, which is baking soda. You're able to determine some properties that can be differentiated.
Taste.
Taste. Okay, I never told you to taste something, but would either of these two substances be something that students should not taste? No. So if you were going to do this investigation, you might want to tell your students that it is okay to taste them. Because neither of these substances would make you feel it. Yes.
So for me,
Hamson.
I would say to get a Q-tip and tap in.
Okay, go ahead.
for me, since I don't know the difference, I really don't use it to cook with or anything. Well, I'm talking as an adult, but even as a kid,
Yeah.
trying to think as a kid, I don't know these substances.
Okay.
So I don't know which property is gonna help me tell the difference.
Well,
Because I don't-
what could you infer? Like maybe.
I mean, even if I taste it, I could say, okay, these taste different, but that still doesn't make me like that. I know which one's baking powder, baking soda.
Okay, so no, there weren't very many properties that allow you to tell the difference. Yes,
The grain quality?
the grain, what do you mean quality? Size,
So I have
texture?
fine grain and a thicker, more larger granule.
Okay, so size of the grains. Taste, yes,
I know that baking soda reacts with vinegar.
okay.
So
So
I
you
would
could-
put some in vinegar, and if one reacted and one didn't,
So what would the property be that you would use to determine the difference?
if there was a chemical reaction or not. If they both reacted, then I would have to do something else because I don't know what baking powder does in vinegar. But I do know what baking soda does.
Which is,
It has a chemical reaction
how do you know,
from prior knowledge and
how do
experience.
you know it's a chemical reaction?
Oh, because it changes. Temperature change.
Like the
There, I do know there's a temperature change, there's a state of matter change, and that's from, based on my knowledge.
Okay, anybody else have any ideas about properties that you could use to distinguish between these two white powders?
They're both white, but one of them is more white.
One of them is a different shade of white. So why, again, it's useful to know about properties that matter because we can classify matter based on its properties for usefulness, or we can classify based on properties to tell the difference between matter. Okay, yesterday I showed you a video. Today I'm going to show you a video. It's very quick. These are the properties of a material called graphene. Has anybody heard of this material before, graphene? Don't remember where exactly you may have heard graphene.
Sort of like graphite,
Yes,
similar to graphite that's in the carbon.
yes.
There's carbon in the pencils, something like that.
So graphite is in your pencil. And again, when we talk about matter, we talk about its properties because it gives us good information on how this matter could be used. So I do want you to pay.
No matter where somebody stands on global warming or that whole issue, pollution is a problem. I don't care who you are or what your scientific belief system is. We know that that's bad. We need to get rid of it. Is there a way to get totally clean energy that's sort of bullseye of all answers with no pollution and unlimited energy? So our first question was, where's the energy? And there's only one answer, and that's right here. A few miles underneath us is unlimited power, unlimited energy. A few miles down, deeper you go, the hotter it gets. You take that energy and you bring it up. Unlimited, pollution free. Is there a way to bring up just the energy, just the heat?
You can't use copper wire because it'll melt. So we found this material called graphene.
Graphene is a substance that is really made out of graphite, which is like pencil lead. And what they discovered was that if they take one molecule layer at a time off this graphite, that's called graphene. Okay? And it has incredible properties.
It's 100 times better conductor than copper. It's lighter than air, stronger than steel.
It transfers heat really efficient.
If you put 100 degrees here, you get 100 on the other side instantly. In the middle, it's completely cool.
So the heat that you put in gets all the way there. Whether you go 10 feet or you go miles, you could bring up unlimited energy from deep underground to the surface, pollution free. And so I approached the graphene guys and I said, could you make me a string? And they looked at me like, why would we make a string? You know, I said, look, a string is the most rudimentary technology, right? If you have a string of something, you can make cloth, you can make balls, you can make rope, you can make a cable. So if you make me a string, I'll put those strings together and make a cable. Then I'll put the cable underneath the ground. And that cable will bring up the heat. And so at first they were a little wary because it seemed too simple.
They have already made the first set of ropes for us, the short ones. They've tested it and found it to work perfectly fine. We're using that and working at Stage 2 in Michigan. Stage 2 has a platform we are building where we'll test everything out. And then that product will be commercially manufactured and propagated from Singapore.
This would be the greatest invention maybe ever.
Okay, and on that note. What are the properties of graphene that may be useful for this purpose? Ready? Ready for your witness to get people to believe. You need to have a discussion in your group what the properties of graphene is that make it useful for this purpose. What are some things that you've heard them describe?
Right. Well, the conductivity, it's a perfect conductor, meaning that that's why it's safe to cool in the middle, because it's conducting it until you get to the end. Right. I'm thinking 100%.
Okay, we're gonna share out pretty quickly, so I'm gonna start with Tim's group in the back. Can you give me some properties of graphene, or property that you've heard in the video that makes graphene useful for this purpose?
It transfers heat.
Sorry?
It transfers heat.
Transfers heat really well. Better than copper. Blew my mind. Put 100 degrees in, you get 100 degrees out, or touching the middle, it's cool. I was like, oh. Next group. Got any properties of graphene? Strong. Stronger than steel. This group.
Thin layer.
Okay. What is the property that allows me to knit a string? Ductility. So it is ductility. This.
It's pollution free.
No, it would bring up the energy. Pollution.
That's not a property of graphene.
So, but yes, it is not the property of graphene specifically. It just allows us to do what we want to do with graphene without creating pollution. That we know of.
Creating the graphene.
So another property? Light. He said it was lighter than air. Again, it blows my mind. Amazing. Last group, any properties of graphene that haven't been named? You can think of anything else?
So what I saw, other than just the awesome conductivity being strong and lighter than air, I could see it being used for structures. I mean, if it's stronger than steel, if you make, you say make string that you can make cloth out of, or cable and whatnot, you can make things that are lightweight, so then our cars become more efficient. Even if if we're still using petroleum, you're gonna use less of it. It'll take less energy to power things if the things still be safe.
Graphene seems like a really amazing substance. I'll hope that maybe this works. Go.
I just need to know, is there like any downside to it?
That's a good question. They're promoting graphene, so they're probably not gonna talk about the downside, but that would be a good research question. So,
Everything has.
Was this something that was found or created? Or specified? I'm just curious.
so the, we'll talk.
I'm just struggling. Okay.
So, last thing that I want you to do. I need to repair a pair of glasses. I don't know about you, but in my classroom, glasses busted. And I have glue, but I have two different types of glue. One dries in seconds, and one dries in minutes. So the speed of the glues, the drying speed of the glue. Which of these two types of glue I could use them both? Which one might be best to use based on the property and the time that it dries? You got about 2 minutes to have a discussion.
Think about
I would do the faster drying one because you gotta have those glasses.
How long is that bond going to last? Ridge bond, Elmer's glue, has longer life, but it's going to break sooner than super glue. I guess that's not based on drying.
The other properties of glue, like super glue, will kind of melt bonds of plastic. So, but I've used, like, whenever the little screws come out, we'll use super glue to put on the screws to lock it in place so they don't get loose.
So I need my reporter to report out their group's discussion. Did you come to a consensus? Let's go here. What do you think? Which glue might be better to use?
It depends.
On what?
So, Brandon, actually, do you want to say it yourself since you're the one who said it? He pointed out, we all started saying it first, we're teachers. We don't have enough time to be sitting around holding the glues going. But he pointed out, Brandon pointed out that if you have a fast glue and it sets within seconds and you're off, then you now have a permanent mistake. Whereas if you have the one that dries within minutes, if it's a couple of minutes, we're not talking 60 minutes, then you actually have the time to line it up and make sure that it's perfect before it dries.
Did other groups have that conversation? Okay, so tell me about your conversation.
Well, I guess we said we need more information. Are you asking us, which glue is going to work best just to get the two pieces back together? Or, then, we don't have enough information in knowing that, does the slower drying glue make a better bond? And so it will, keep them together, like a little stronger hold because it dries longer?
Okay, what if everything like that was considered equal? Like the strength, the hold, all of that was the same,
It didn't
just
matter if
one
it dried fast
property
at
that
all.
was different. The faster drying glue or the slower drying glue? You would choose the faster? Okay, why?
Faster.
That's faster. Guys,
We
we got
don't
still.
wanna waste instructional time.
What did you guys do?
Same thing.
Yeah, and you kind of answered one of the questions that we were asking, which was like, do we know the strength of it? Like if one was like the fastest one was less strength and it's more where it ends up breaking in the end, then there was like there's no point of getting the faster one. Whereas if it dries longer and the strength is stronger, then of course we're gonna try to where we're holding that glass for like however long, because I've done this like a billion times, and they take 10 to 20 minutes, and you're like, why is this not drying yet? But if it's stronger, then of course I'm gonna go with the stronger one because I don't want it to break again. But you said, well, we're considering the fact and the properties that they're both the same strength and all of that. Then for me personally, with the experience of having so many broken glasses, I'm gonna go with the faster one because I can align it right away. Because I've had mistakes where I'm holding that for 20 minutes, and guess what? Now my hands are stuck to it. Or I'm so tired that my hands are moving that it shifts it and moves it away, and I'm like, well, that was a waste, and I gotta glue it back and wait another extra 20 minutes.
So you're saying that a faster drying property would leave room for less error if it's
For me.
quick. Okay, last group.
We were split. One person in our group said that the slower drying glue would be better because of what other groups have said. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
And then, most of the people in our group said the faster drying glue is what we would choose.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, so your assignment is, probably wanna write this down. Your team will answer the following questions. Why does a teacher need to know the vertical strand of a specific content, if you would? Why does a teacher need to know the vertical strand from a content strand?
Content or concept?
Content. The second one is, why does a teacher need to know more than you teach to design effective instruction? Why does a teacher need to know more than you teach to design effective instruction? All right, I'm not finished yet. So you get with your partner, and I'm going to give you, maybe about 5 or 7 minutes. You're gonna walk the hall, and you're gonna come to some kind of closure with these questions.
Is our partner our group or the person next
I
to us?
think probably I think a group of 4 is gonna be too many. So you can decide what you wanna do. It could be 2 or 3 or 4. I don't care.
Next to you or with someone to
I don't care. I don't care. You may choose. So you have at least 5 minutes. And the door going this way, that means come in.
Does that mean that we're partners or are you? You want to be partners?